Hello there, my name's Tracy Elsom and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in Canada. Earlier today on my blog I posted this card that I had made using the new waterfront stamp set from Stampin' Up! It's a lovely stamp set with some abstract images giving a watercolour effect, and you put them all together to create some lovely scenes and some really nice sentiments in there as well. So I created this card, Friends Make the Good Times Better, and inside, and the hard times easier. And it's a really nice, very simple card, but I wanted to do a very quick 30-second solution tutorial just to show you some pointers about when you're creating two different tones using the same ink pad as I've done here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in some plain white paper just so that you can see what I'm doing, and in fact I've got a piece of foam there because it's a photopolymer stamp, and so I want to make sure I get a good image from that. So I'm bringing in my old olive ink pad and a piece of card. So I have a piece of card here. Now this is called two-step stamping, so the idea is that you can stamp it once and you get a dark tone of the ink, and then if you stamp it again without re-inking it, you get a lighter tone. Now that's fine, it's not a problem. It's what I did here on the trees. You can see you've got one set of 3 trees and then I've immediately stamped it again. But here, where part of the image is stamped off the piece of card, we come into a problem. So for instance, if I was to stamp this tree, I've re-inked it, I'm going to stamp it off just like that. And you can see that there's some of the trees were stamped on the card and the rest was stamped off there onto the scrap paper, and that's fine. But if I now immediately go back and do my two-step stamping to create the lighter tone without re-inking it, this is what happens. You end up with this sort of odd bit here, because what's happened is part of the ink has been taken off there, but not all of it. So you've got this extra piece in there, which makes it a little bit more difficult. And I'll show you it in a bit more detail using a solid stamp that makes it a little bit clearer. So I have this stamp here. It's just a solid. So again, I'll ink it up with the same colour. I'm going to stamp it, and I get one colour, and if I stamp it again I get the lighter colour. But look what happens when you stamp off. So I'm going to stamp part of this there like that, and when I stamp it again you can see now really clearly that defining line, and that's not what you want when you're doing some stamping. So the way to get around that is to stamp your solid image. Okay, so you'll stamp it off. And then if you want a lighter tone, re-ink your stamp, stamp it off onto some scrap paper so you've got the whole image has been stamped off. And then you can re-stamp again. So whenever you're doing this two-step stamping, once you've taken your stamp partly off the piece that you're working on, always re-ink it, and if you want a lighter tone, do the stamping off on a scrap piece so that you can get that image created properly. So I hope that's been useful, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye.